Okay, here's a quick review of Michel Houellebecq's book, Submission, a Novel. If you don't know of Houellebecq, he is a French writer. I believe currently living in Ireland because he got himself into a little bit of trouble politically in his home country, so he's an expatriate. But he is still, among many people, considered one of the greatest living European writers. And I had read one of his other books, The Elementary Particles, which I really enjoyed and highly recommend The Elementary Particles. It deals with two brothers. It's a two brothers genre story, if you will. And they go, it's about them going in opposite directions. But the main theme of that book deals with the baby boomer generation, and it's kind of an indictment on the baby boomer generation for their narcissism and hedonism, and how their narcissism and hedonism has impacted subsequent generations, especially their kids. And these two brothers are children of two very hedonistic and narcissistic baby boomers, and the impacts on their lives. So that's a really good book, The Elementary Particles. The Submission did not enjoy as much. Honestly, it deals with a disaffected university professor who, and who's ever heard of one of those, a disaffected university professor? I've never heard of somebody like that. But this particular person is living in this alternate reality in which France is being taken over, the French government's being taken over by the Muslim Brotherhood, and they're moving the country from a secular state, because France is very secular, um, to a more religious state, and people start losing their jobs if they're not willing to convert to the Muslim faith, including this professor. Um, and so that feels implausible, but I think it's obviously him expressing some anxiety about the social changes happening in France and the political changes happening there too. And I'm not going to get into the politics of that. You can question Houellebecq's politics as much as you want. You're free to do that, because I'm sure there's going to be different sides to that particular argument. I'm more interested in his writing style. And what I think he has a gift for, what I love about his writing style, is that he can surprise you. You're tripping along, reading some part of the narrative, things are going kind of traditional, smoothly, and then suddenly, boom, you are in the middle of this very raunchy sex scene, or something very awful is happening to somebody. And I kind of like that element of surprise in his work, that these random, weird, very gritty things just kind of pop up and go, wow, that that took me, that was unexpected. And I think that's something we can take away from his writing as fellow writers is, don't let your readers get complacent. Throw some things in there to surprise them, and don't be afraid to get a little gritty with it. And because that's one of the things the visceral, gritty quality of some of the scenes that he brings into his work, I find really compelling. But again, to recap, Elementary Particles, really highly recommend that book. I found that one was very engaging and fascinating all the way through. Submission, less so, but worth a read if you're really interested in his overall oeuvre.